Welcome to Blue Talks.
Thank you for that wonderful message. Thank you for everyone being here and attending this. This is definitely my first talk, and what an adrenaline rush, I tell you right now. But let me tell you a story about a boy who wanted to be a radio and broadcaster at a young age. And there was door after door closed on him. And he figured he wasn't going to amount to anything. He wasn't going to do anything right. So I had that mindset my entire life, all through it. And then I came out west. I wanted to make a change. I started in the oil and gas sector, and I got a rude awakening how vulnerability was a weakness. Silence was strength. And if you showed liability, you weren't a leader. So I had that mindset in my head. And then I joined the railway, thinking it would be better. No, same result. So in 2021, I lost my mother. Hardest thing I ever had to go through. And it made me realize there was so much more to life. And I wanted to make that change. So I made my first holistic healing appointment. And it was there I learned about Dolores Cannon. And I learned about how the subconscious mind works. And I started to get into meditation, and it was great. And it was bringing me all sorts of messages and understanding. And it gave me these tools. And I share these tools in my book, Enemy Within, Fear is Our Greatest Opponent. But along that journey, I decided I want to be a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. I want to help people. Because it turns out that helping people is a lot more better than working with someone every day who's miserable, not wanting to show up, not even wanting to live or survive, just living to exist. And that version of me had to go. Because I was staring in a mirror and I didn't recognize that person. And I kept asking myself, who is this person? What can I do better? So I'd made the change and quit the railway and took a big chance and started my own business, Beyond Transcendence with Andrew. It was there that I found that I wanted to be a podcaster. And I started interviewing people, and I started to hear their journeys and how powerful they were. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And then it dawned on me to start journaling. So I got into writing my book just through journaling, wanting to know more about myself. And it was there that I found the answer to my problem. It was me. I was the one that was the victim. I was the one that allowed people to put me down below. But here today, I'm here to say thank you to those people, because I wouldn't be speaking in front of all of you. I wouldn't have wrote the book, The Enemy Within, and I never would have started my quantum healing hypnosis. And because of that now, I get to work with people one-on-one, and I get to see their healing progress, and it's wonderful. I want you all to close your eyes with me, take a breath, and just imagine what it'd be like to get a little softer and what that ripple could create. And I want you to hold that feeling and embrace it. How do you all feel? It's nice, isn't it? And that's what I love about what I do now, working with people. Because I get to hear people's joy, their thoughts, the wonderful moments they share, not being screamed at, not being yelled at, not being belittled. And I realize now that the people that were belittling me, they were hurt too. So now I show empathy for even those who have done horrible things to me, because I feel their pain inside of me because I'm an empath. So I can go out in public and I can hear everybody's energies. Even this room right now with all your energy, wow, it's so powerful. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. But I just want to speak on like those people that couldn't have a voice. They had to play small. They had to keep themselves very tiny, because if they spoke out, they were criticized. They were made fun of. They were told they weren't going to amount to anything. So today I'm here to speak for those people that didn't have a voice, that did remain invisible, that didn't want to try anything, didn't want to take a chance or a risk, just was enjoying being comforted. And that was the beautiful thing about my wife, Bree, who's here with me today. She inspired me and empowered me to follow my dreams, because I had no one other than my mother, who is always with me. And now I get to work with people, showing them that their trauma is actually their blessing, because it builds their resilience, it builds their strength, and they can use that as their weapon. That's their superpower. So I help them reveal the subconscious. I help them rewire their mind, release the suppressed emotions, and rise to the aligned soul person they're supposed to be. And because of them, I continue to heal. Because when I heal, everybody else heals, because we are all energetically connected on a soul level. And we are all equal, no matter who we are. So it's been a long journey, and it's been wonderful. And it's taught me a lot about myself, and how there's just so much more to this world that we don't realize. And how grateful we truly are to just have the gift of life, to wake up every morning, to have clean water. It's the same things I share with my clients. And working with them one-on-one, I feel their energy, and it's like I go with them in their stories. And it's amazing how our past lives actually affect this life. And it turns out that the trauma that I went through was my way of paying back my karma. And it was me that chose that form of karma. So it brought me a lot of closure to understand everyone and the journey they're on. And how the beautiful thing about quantum healing is you get to hear everybody's story. You get to understand them. You get to relate with them. And the same with my book. When you read my book, it's like I'm there with you, coaching you along, showing you the tricks and techniques I learned. And it's beautiful. And I never would have been able to do this if I hadn't gone through my trauma. So it's part of my way of saying thank you to everyone who's put me in this situation, because it's a blessing to me. And the beautiful thing about quantum healing is your story never ends, because the soul never dies. It lives on in each and every one of us. And we are all energetically and soulfully connected. And I'm truly grateful for that. So what I do now is next for the future is continue my training, adding more modalities to my arsenal, so I can continue to show the healing that people are meant to get. And that's all that matters to me. But this has been a wonderful journey, and I'm truly grateful and honored to be a part of this. And I want you all to just ask yourself, when was the last time you put your phone down? No distractions, no nothing. Just sit with yourself in silence. How many of you sit in silence without your phone, without your music, just sitting there and what are the first thoughts that come to mind when you do this? Peace, joy. That's wonderful, eh? Just to experience that. That was the hardest thing for me to do, was to be in my own comfort zone. Be there in that moment. I had to have the noise because that's what I was used to, was the noise. I know I'm probably jumping around here because energetically, adrenaline, but that's okay. What was the first? Sorry, let me start that again. What was the hardest thing that anyone has gone through here? How did you cope with it? What did you do differently? I know I didn't do anything that I was supposed to. I kind of just winged it and let it be. And I started to understand more as I let my thoughts carry and got more into the quiet area. Just started to understand like how truly the mind works and how our subconscious is not our enemy. It's our map to home. And it was there that I met him, the younger version of me, sacred, abandoned, desperate to be seen. I found my inner child. He's always calling out to me. I just couldn't get past the trauma. I couldn't understand it at the time. And now I see why I was reactive. I was in a relationship where I was even toxic in. I was angry, I was exhausted, I was burnt out. But when you work in the industry that I worked in, you work long hours, you travel long days, and it takes a toll on your body, your mind. And now, because of that, it's helping me to understand like those who have gone through it, have shared their problems, have shared it. At the time, I couldn't understand it because I was wrapped in my own trauma. But now, working with the people I work with one-on-one, I understand their trauma because we are all related and we all trauma bonded. Even the relationship I was in, we trauma bonded. We thought chaos was connection. We thought that was normal to have chaos, but it wasn't. We got comfortable and we got complacent. And that was when the tipping point was with my mother that really pushed me over the edge and showed me that I had to change. Because at one point I didn't think about if I was going to be standing up here on stage because I thought I was going to be gone. You think, now this is kind of circling back, I had a very traumatic experience when I was 27 years old. I was on a chairlift and I got confident because my board was kind of like tucked in the bar, and I was like, okay, I got to pick this bar up. I'm leaned forward and I'm about to pull the bar back down. And guess what? The chairlift jerked behind us. Guess who went falling? Me. 27 feet straight down. I made the conscious decision before I hit that ground to not panic because I wouldn't be walking right now or up here speaking because the doctor looked at me and said, "How are you alive? People die from like 5 feet fall. You fell 27 feet. That's impressive. What did you do?" And I told him, I didn't panic. I just made the conscious decision not to be scared. And I went to sleep in the air. Best thing I ever did. But do you think I would have paid attention then? No. No, I didn't get the message because I didn't learn from it. And then I I had like 5 near-death experiences after that. You'll find that out in my book. But it's interesting how we take life for granted and we don't realize that even just the little things that we go through are actually pushing us in the right direction. And because I became a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner, I was able to meet Roslyn. I was able to form these great relationships with people. And I never would have done that if I had stayed where I was at. So this is kind of a message for people who are dealing with trauma and can't get out of their own way and just want to stay wrapped in the chaos. There is a way out. There always is. It's up to you to choose it. You're going to go through tough times. That's part of life, unfortunately. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.